And good evening and welcome to Greater Somerville for July 17th, 2012. I am Joe Lynch. My guest tonight is a writer and editor and the proud founder of Somerville's newest and some say best online blog, The Somerville Beat. Hence our glasses. The Somerville Beat. It is dedicated to life and a guide to this small town in a big city. It is loaded with insightful, well-written, and original content. She has adopted Somerville and loves it as her own. It is my pleasure to welcome the founder, the writer, the editor of the Somerville Beat, Elyse Andrews.
Hi, thank you so much.
I totally thought on this hot Somerville summer night,
Yes.
Sounds like a song, hot Somerville summer night, that we should do the glasses.
I think so, yeah. It's pretty hot outside right now. It's
Because
probably like 100 degrees. So.
You're doing the weather report. I didn't even have to ask you. We have a joke here on Greater Somerville
Yes,
that
I've
when
seen
we
that
have out of the ordinary weather, because
Okay.
who wants to get run-of-the-mill weather?
Sure.
Out of the ordinary weather during snowstorms or heat waves, I always ask the guests to give us the weather. You want to try it?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a hot and muggy summer night in beautiful Union Square, but the breeze is picking up, which is making it a bit nicer outside.
Not bad. Not bad. We may do a segment every week.
Okay.
The weather report.
Yeah, my family loves the weather, so I'm your go-to girl for that.
I'm gonna remove mine because
Okay,
I'm having
I
trouble
think-
reading anything that I have. So
That's probably good.
I like it. I like the props.
Me too.
I like the props.
Next time I'll bring my hat.
I did. Any of you who have seen the Somerville Beat, Elyse appears on the Somerville Beat in a pork pie hat. We'll call it a pork pie
Yes.
hat. And I razzed her a little bit before when she came into the studio. She did not have her pork pie hat with her, but congratulations.
Thank you. very
Reviews
much.
are coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're watching your own ticker and
Yeah.
number of people coming to the site.
Yes, yeah, traffic's picking up, and I would just say in general, the Somerville community has been really supportive.
Yeah.
Just people from all over reaching out, and that's been really nice to kind of get that feedback from people that they do really like the blog and that they want more of it.
That's
So
great. You
it's
know,
really
we only say nice things for the first 5 years that you're here. And then after 5 years,
time's running out.
after 5 years, we turn on you. But you were telling me that you've been here for a while.
Yes,
in
yeah,
the
I've
city.
lived in Somerville for almost 5 years. I've been doing the beat for just about almost 3 months.
Yep.
So had another gig before that, but I love Somerville and I love writing, and I kind of just wanted to find a way to combine those two things.
And you're a writer by trade. Or
Yes,
by
yeah, I went to
training.
Yep, I went to journalism school, and all my other jobs have been in writing and editing in various fields. And I've done some writing for other Somerville publications like The Scout and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just decided it was time to do my own thing, and I've always kind of wanted to do something like that. So
Now, the
it's
Somerville
a great
Scout.
moment.
Somerville Scout has 2 new co-editors.
Yes,
Did you happen to catch the episode when Adam Vaccaro did
I
the
did.
weather?
Yes, I did.
No one can top Adam.
Yeah, I know.
You delivered yours
His was
beautifully.
His was great, though.
Yeah, Adam
Theirs was really
Adam
funny.
did a great job. Andy Metzger, who used to be one of the lead reporters for the Somerville Journal, he also did a pretty good job with it. So see, you writers, you know how to deliver. You know how to deliver that message across, whether it's the weather or a murder report. You can really embellish that big. So you and your husband, who is your technical advisor.
He is, yes.
He is the technical advisor for the Somerville Beat. You live up on Prospect Hill.
Yes, we live in Prospect Hill. I've lived in a few places in Somerville. I lived actually really close to the new Maxwell's Green development, only 1 block over from there for a couple years.
Yeah.
And then I lived on Highland Ave. There's a really big brown house with yellow trim across the street from Highland Kitchen. I lived there for a couple years.
Sure.
And now we live in Prospect Hill.
There you
so
go.
Sort of all over the city.
So what is it about Somerville? You know, I mean, I'm slightly older.
So-
What is it about Somerville that attracts the 20, 30-somethings these days?
I think it's just that it feels like a really vibrant city. There's just so much going on. I mean, I have a hard time choosing what to do most nights when we want to go do something in Somerville. There's always something really fun. There's tons of great restaurants, lots of really good bars, and there's lots of other cool 20 and 30-year-olds that live here, and I think there's kind of something fun about being a part of that community.
I heard a 30-something in my neighborhood say, great bars, not at Boston prices.
Yes, that's
But they're
definitely true.
creeping up there.
Yeah,
I went to a bar the other night, and I lived in Boston for many, many years, so
Yeah.
I was used to the $9 or the $11 glass of wine. First time, I'm a native. I'm a Somerville native, but I left for a long time, and then I came
Yeah.
back. The first time I've ever had to pay $11 for a glass of wine in
Wow.
the city of
It's
Somerville.
pretty pricey.
Usually I go for the two bottles for $10.
Sure.
I mean, now I'm paying $11 for a glass of wine.
That's a little steep.
Yeah,
But-
but it is a vibrant city. I mean, it always
Yes.
has been. You know, it's gone through its ebb
Sure.
and flow, but there's just something about it over the last 10 years
Mm-hmm.
that's attracting more and more of the creative arts
Yes,
folks
definitely.
and writers.
Yep.
Or creative arts people. I mean, I think a lot of times, you know, when we think about art beat and we think about a lot of the other
Yes,
things, we're
that's
just
right.
thinking about the visual artists.
Sure.
But there's the spoken word, the actors, the musicians, the writers.
Yes, definitely.
And it's an exorbitant amount that are coming into the city.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, and I think it sort of feeds on itself. It's like you hear about a few people coming in, like I know the Fringe Union is
Yep.
like a huge mecca for that, and they're expanding their space to include even more, you know, creative people. And I think the more that happens, it sort of just cycles on itself. And it's kind of like with the food stuff that's going on in town also, the local brewers and stuff like that. Like everyone's just kind of, there's like a good momentum, I think, built up with.
You mentioned the local brew thing. You got it front and center on the site this week.
Yeah, I interviewed Michael Oxton from Night Shift Brewing last week, and he was a real pleasure to talk to and just kind of hear about what they're doing, and the people at Slum Brew and Pretty Things, and they've just all got kind of a really unique angle on the craft brew scene, and it's cool to see that having such a big impact, I think, on the city, and the beer festivals that have been at the Armory and stuff certainly drawn a lot of people to them. So
You're more in tune with it than I would be, but what was the controversy about the name Slum Brew? Did that mostly come from like
I
old
think it was
Somerville?
like one or two people anyway who thought it was controversial.
Yeah.
I don't really know how big of a deal it actually was, but I think I know the people who are behind that, and they love Somerville and they want to be here and want to be part of the community. So it might have just been a little misunderstanding, I think. But
I'm not so sure it's the name; it's the taste that's going to make or break it. I mean, you could call it
sure.
whatever you want. As long as the taste is there, people are going to buy it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and their beer is good. So.
What else this week? I went through your site and I saw a lot
Yeah.
of different things. You travel a lot with your husband.
Yes, yeah, I love traveling. I love Somerville, but we also love getting out of Boston and out of the city. Went to San Francisco a few months ago, which was a really wonderful trip. Sort of echoed Boston and Somerville in some ways, but also, you know, had its own flavor and flair. And recently went to Glacier National Park, which was quite different from Somerville, but wonderful in its own way as well.
See,
So.
that's what I like about the site too, is that it's not about a liquor license. And it's
Right.
not about, it could be about some controversial issues
Sure.
in your neighborhood or my neighborhood.
Definitely.
Yeah, but it kind of presents how people in their 20s and 30s are living in the city.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
not
kind of-
everybody sits at home and watches the Alderman meeting. I know you and your husband
That's
do.
all I do, actually.
Like clockwork. Thursdays.
Mostly because he wants to watch it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of people doing news in Somerville, and I applaud them and read all of those websites and read their newspapers and watch their shows and listen to the radio and all of that. But I think there's room to kind of tell the stories of Somerville.
Right.
And I certainly know I've learned a lot about the city just in the last few months, going, you know, being on the street and interviewing people, and you meet one person who connects you to someone else, and I just think there's something really special about that, because there's a lot of really cool stuff happening here right now. So
Yeah, I agree. Somebody asked me when I came back over a dozen years ago, they said, why would you come back?
Yeah.
You know, you lived on Beacon Hill, you lived in the South End,
Sure.
you lived in all the hip-hop happening
Right.
places. And I said, number one, I'm getting too old to be happening. I'm more has-been than happening. But then coming back to Somerville, I noticed the exact same vibrancy and that
Yes.
undercurrent that was there. You know, when I arrived in, I tell the story, I think I've told the story on the show before. When I arrived in the South End, my first apartment was on Appleton Street.
Okay.
Now, that's not that far into the South
Sure.
End, but my mother was appalled that I would be living in the South End, and it took years before she would venture to the other side of St. James Avenue.
yeah,
So,
Sure.
you know, being a pioneer kind of in the 80s down in the South End, it
Right.
was that vibrancy, that, you know,
Yep.
connection to a lot of different happenings that were going on. And then gentrification took place, so
Yep.
us old people had to leave. And it's got, you know, it's controversial here in the city as well.
Yes, I know.
That we have so much development, and
Yes.
we are, as the mayor calls my ward, Ward 5, sorry
Yes.
guys, but the mayor refers to Ward 5 as the sexy ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah, well, you know, you'll have to get Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor is your ward alderman,
Yes.
right? You have to get Taylor to give you a
Right.
coin.
Something
you know,
like
coin
that.
something
A little
for Ward
phrase.
3. The highest ward in the city.
There you go. No one can compete with that, so.
The highest ward. I don't know if Taylor's going to go for that one, but you know, coming back and seeing everything that was happening, that same feeling was there. But
Yes.
gentrification takes over.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon, older folk, no, I shouldn't say older folk, but
Sure.
folks who are not at peak earning capacity
Right.
begin to be forced out. And that's an altogether different story.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know, and I mean, one reason why I love Somerville so much and why I've loved living here is that I do feel like it really retains a great diversity of all different age groups and races and creeds and religions and people doing all kinds of things, coexisting in a really small place together and kind of all influencing each other. And I would be sad, really sad actually, to see that change.
Well, you lose it. When you get into a homogenous neighborhood,
Yep.
it's boring.
Exactly.
It's boring.
So, right.
So
Nobody wants that.
somebody said, you know, Somerville's a melting pot, and I said, I don't think it's really a melting pot. It's more like a walk. You know, it's
Yeah.
you're constantly shoving, and things are getting mixed, but it's fun.
That's a good way
it's
to put
fun.
it. I like that.
What else are you covering this month? Is it a slow summer for you, a fast summer?
No, I feel like every time I sort of sit down to brainstorm ideas and think about stuff, the list is only growing longer. It's never growing shorter, you know, despite all the stories I've been writing. I've been doing a lot of stuff lately with a lot of the urban agriculture that's been happening around the city. I went to City Hall and talked to some of the people there and saw their little garden that they have. Which is really nice. And then I also went there's a garden on Spring Hill at the Somerville Hospital, and that's, I think, tomorrow on the beat. And the people there are really interesting. They're growing a ton of stuff. They had like 13 beds, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's been really interesting. I love gardening and I love food and cooking and stuff, so it's been really fun to kind of explore how that's sort of blossoming around town. And we do live in such an urban place, so it's really fun to see how people are using their decks and their yards, their little spaces to grow stuff like tomatoes and herbs and things.
It's funny, in our neighborhood we have, you know, a lot of the 20-somethings, 30-somethings, and they know that I've been here, you know, my family's been here for a long time, and they always ask me, what was on the site before the homes were built?
Yeah.
Because they're thinking about what's in the ground.
Yes, yeah.
And I said, you're safe. This section of the city was always agriculture. It was farmland. There was no heavy industry. But I'd still do a raised bed.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what the city, I think, mostly encourages people to do,
Right.
just to be on the safe side, to do raised beds and containers and
Any
stuff.
rooftops yet? Rooftop gardens?
I heard that maybe Johnny D's is going to be having a rooftop garden. I don't know if that's just a rumor that I heard, but I haven't actually witnessed any of the rooftop gardens myself. I do know, speaking about Fringe Union, I know over there the Metro Pedal people are growing a lot of stuff, and some of their stuff is sort of on really high containers, I think, to get better sunlight. So, and they also have some chickens over there too. So you can see clucking around in the yard.
Check it out if you want to see a beautiful, what somebody transformed an old industrial building. A friend of mine, Carolyn Muscat, on Cedar Street, Muscat Studios. She's a lithographer. Almost the whole front part of their former garage is now the terrace with herb garden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know where that is.
Carolyn, good plug. Good plug for the herb garden.
Yeah, I'll definitely go down there and check it out.
Yeah. So what else? What else? You're loving this stuff.
Yeah.
Somerville Beat is just like, it's popping up there every place.
Thank you.
But that all has to do with your technical advisor, I think.
It does, yes. It's mostly his expertise. Yeah, also this week I attended the Swirl and Slice tasting last week, actually.
Swirl and Slice,
Yeah, it was about cheese and herbs and how to kind of mix those together to make a really fun cheese plate. So I'm writing about that also this week. And that was really fun. That's Thursday nights in the plaza. Went to Journeyman for the first time on Friday, which was awesome. Very, very, very good meal. So gonna review that. It was just, probably the best meal ever, I would say, right here in Union Square. So
There you go.
that was pretty fun.
Somebody's pitching a new show to me.
Okay.
I want to see what you think about this.
Yeah.
And it's actually plagiarism at its best.
Okay.
Because there is a friend of mine who appears on Cambridge Cable.
Okay.
And he has a show called Cooking for Steve.
Okay.
Most shows you would think are Cooking with Steve.
Right. I was gonna say.
No. Steve
Clever.
has figured out a way to get 3 meals a week by having somebody else cook for him while he films what they're cooking in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you think about that idea? You like that?
Yeah.
I think it would be great to have the media in town, yourself and the newspapers, follow me once a week. We go to somebody's house. I'm pitching this to you at home too.
Yeah.
We go to your house, we bring our camera, and we film your cooking for Joe.
Sounds great.
What do you think?
I love cooking and eating, and so that sounds good to me.
There you go.
I would
do you want
definitely
to be a
into
co-host
that.
on one of those
Sure.
nights?
Yeah.
Excellent. So the first place I'm going to stop is my friend Fabiola, who lives in my neighborhood. I've always said that she would make a great TV kitchen host. And she's already got the name of her show, Cooking with Fabi, but she sings it.
Oh.
I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to sing. So Fabi, I know you watch. We're going to hit your house, one of the first ones.
That sounds great.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
I love that idea.
I can't believe that guy gets people to make him all those meals.
Three free meals a week.
That's wonderful. Good
And then
for
they
him.
show it on Cambridge Cable.
Sure,
So
it's very resourceful.
I think it
of
would
him.
be fun.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun.
Absolutely.
Impressions. I always ask this question of folks who are fairly new to the city. We have what we call Old Somerville, and we have New Somerville, and then we have everybody else who's in the middle. Impressions. Are we living together peacefully in harmony, or do you see any kind of strife that's out there?
I do think for the most part people do coexist well in Somerville. I definitely think in any situation like a college or a town, people tend to segregate themselves into their groups of people, or you see the same people all the time. But I do think the city and people that are in Somerville really try to make it a big community that we're all a part of. And I think if you want to be a part of it, it's really easy to get out and get involved in all different stuff that's going on around town, whether it's Art Beat that's happening this weekend or, the farmers market. But there certainly are, of course, divisions, as with any place, and people who never see each other or probably never go to the same places. But I kind of feel like Somerville has something for everyone.
But I love what you said, Elyse. You said if people want to get involved,
yeah, I
there's
really
plenty
feel
of
like that.
opportunity
So,
out there.
Yeah, there really is. I think whether it's the city making it available or people like Union Square Main Streets or the East Somerville Main Street people, I just think there's a lot of opportunities to get out and see what our city has to offer and be a part of it if you want to.
You gonna write anything bad about the mayor? Come on, you can
Probably
tell me.
not.
It's just us in the camera.
Oh yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about him. So I don't
Come
know.
on.
Let's make something up.
Come on. I get all these editors and all these media people to say bad stuff about the mayor on the show, and then he calls me and he says, Lynch.
No, I'm definitely not going to say anything bad about him.
No, I would have to say none
I don't
of
have
them,
anything to say bad to say about him.
none of them have ever gotten themselves in trouble on this show. We're always respectful of
Yes, I hope so.
City.
Yeah, that's not really my angle. I'll let them do the dirty work of
you
digging
go.
up stuff on City Hall
and
or whatever.
they're getting paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting paid for it. You do. This is a labor of love for you.
Exactly.
That's
So, yes. So, yeah, they can get in trouble.
All right, so summertime in Somerville.
Yes.
Good impressions? Fireworks, Memorial Day Parade.
Definitely. Yeah, I went to the Memorial Day Parade. Yeah, I love summer in Somerville. I love going to the farmers market on Saturday mornings. I think the new Swirl and Slice on Thursday nights seems to be really popular, and I've definitely come down to try the wine and cheese and meet people down there. Yeah, I
hot
definitely
bars.
think,
What are the hot bars? No.
I would say my two favorite bars in Somerville are both right here in Union Square. Back Bar for really good cocktails. I think that actually is the best bar in Boston right now. I used to be a huge fan of Drink in Fort Point, and I still am. I think it's a great bar. But I'm really happy to see Somerville has its own kind of craft cocktail scene sort of coming alive, and I think it's a really excellent place. I love that you can make a reservation, so there's not a lot of jostling that kind of happens in some of the Davis Square bars. And also the Independent is probably, it's sort of like my home away from home.
Ka-ching, Ken Kelly. Ken Kelly always says, you got to move the camera a little bit. You're not catching my sign. But I like the independent.
Yeah,
Saloon, I was in Saloon for the soft opening and then the hard opening, so that seems to be hopping.
Yeah, Saloon, I think it has amazing potential. The only times I've ever been there, it's been like wall-to-wall tough students and people in general, which is awesome for them that their business is doing so well. Personally, I'm a little bit over the, shoving and pushing in a bar scene, so I would love to go there when it was less crowded.
See, I thought that only hit after 45, that you were tired of the shoving and the pushing. I was still shoving and pushing.
That's why I live in this neighborhood.
I was still shoving and pushing at 50, so, I mean, it didn't bother me. But
I definitely think it's definitely doing a booming business, so...
You're the second person who, within 1 week, you're the second person who has said to me, we've never seen you in Back Bar, you have to come down.
Oh, it's... Yeah.
Yeah, good.
It's really good.
We're going to get a new one up in Magoon Square from my neighborhood.
I heard that.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that. That sounds like sometime this summer maybe, or fall.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll make its appearance within 30, 60 days. So
yeah, that's great.
We noticed that the construction is ongoing. Food, restaurants. Come on.
Restaurants. Oh yeah, so went to Journeyman last week.
I get free meals if you plug these restaurants.
Not my free meals. Yeah, Journeyman was amazing. It was definitely a very special experience, totally unlike anything I've ever had at a restaurant before. So that was really fun. Also, the Independent. That's like my go-to place.
Ken Kelly, he's writing it down. How many times we say the Independent?
I love Three Little Figs on Highland Ave. That's my favorite breakfast coffee place right now.
The co-host of this show, Cayenne Anderson, plugs it all the time.
Yeah, it's really good. The Greek yogurt granola stuff is awesome. They have really good muffins and baked goods, and the people who run it and own it are really nice people. I interviewed them for The Beat, and I love that place. And I used to live very close to there, and there wasn't a little cafe like that over there before, and I was always kind of sad about that.
Yeah, that's gone through several iterations.
Yeah, exactly.
Up there.
But this time I feel like they've really got it right.
It looks like it's sticking.
Yeah, it's packed every time I go in there. So definitely that.
Let me, because you get out more often because your husband's fabulously wealthy and he takes you out to eat all the time. There's a place in right off of Beacon Street at the corner of, I think it's Beacon and Washington, Bergamo.
Yes.
Bergamo. Is that still there?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
I haven't been there in over a year.
So, yeah. Yes, I've been there also. That was very good. Very good fish I had there before.
That's pricey.
Yeah,
a little
it
pricey.
is expensive.
That's why I haven't been there in over a year.
Yes, but I do believe it is still fully operational. So.
Yeah. Mike's in Davis Square looks like it's doing a bang-up business.
Yeah.
During the summertime.
Yes. Yeah, the place is nice in the summer. They open all the windows and everything.
The outdoor seating has really made a big difference for him down there.
Yes, I think so. I heard the Independent's getting some outdoor seating, actually.
Good, good. I wish the sidewalks in Magoon Square were wide enough.
I know. That is one trouble with Somerville is very narrow sidewalks. Not a lot of places to sit outdoors. But there are a few pockets. You can find it.
My favorite. Can I give a plug for my favorite?
Sure.
Pescatori.
Yeah, I wrote that down
Square.
after you told me that. I need to go there.
There were one of the nieces. Her graduation party was held down at Pescatori, and we had the best service, the best food, the best wine.
That's the key, I feel like.
And they have this great little outdoor patio that you would never know that it's there because you have to go through the dining room to get outside.
There are places like that in Somerville, the patio is sort of tucked in the back.
Yeah, I don't like to tell people my favorites because
I know. Sometimes
then
I feel
it gets crowded.
Exactly.
And I can't go to see.
To keep them for ourselves, but we want them to stay in business also.
We do. We want people to eat local. We want people to shop local.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a big.
It's Boston, Elyse.
Yeah,
we've got Somerville, so.
Or even Cambridge.
Oh, be careful now. There's a lot of expats from Cambridge. They still have their heart still belongs in Cambridge.
Well.
So you're enjoying the beat, Somerville Beat.
Yeah, I love it. It's just a great excuse to get out into the city even more than I already was. Now I'm sort of forced out, I guess, all the time. And it's a great excuse to talk to people, also people that are doing really fun stuff. I've interviewed a bunch of people who work out of the Kitchen Inc. space on Somerville Ave.
I've heard of that, yeah?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So it's like a shared use kitchen, and it started with the people behind Culinary Cruisers who sell kombucha, and now they're making their own popsicles, which are really delicious.
So locally? We have a lot of distribution?
Yeah, so they have a bicycle that they drive around, and they're at pretty much every farmer's market, as well as popping up in other places where there are a lot of food trucks and stuff, I know, down in Boston and in Cambridge and stuff. And Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on down there. I know the people from the Bearded Pig who cooked out of there anyway are opening their own restaurant
I
in
heard
Union
that,
Square. And then
Good connection.
Yes.
They're moving, I think, from New Hampshire.
Yes.
They're originally
I believe
from
so.
New Hampshire, and they bought the house next door to one of my sisters.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Inside.
Pulled pork from me.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was really fun. And the more people I've met down there sort of have spiraled on itself. And the cuisine and locale people who they cook with local ingredients and they deliver food to you if you want it. Obviously pay for it. But yeah, so that's been really fun. That's been one of my sort of a place I never heard of before that's right around the corner from my house, and it was very cool to see kind of what was going on down there. It's a little like creative food lab.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's
very
great.
cool.
I love all this stuff that happens in the city.
Yeah, me
I
too.
like the traditional part of Somerville, but I love the new edgy, more, well, as the mayor says, the new sexy stuff
Yeah.
that's happening in Somerville too. So.
Yes.
I wish you a lot of luck and success.
Thank you
You've
so
had it
much.
so far. I mean,
Thank you.
know, there'll be a knockdown, drag out fight about whether or not it's your writing prowess or the technical
Sure.
advice that you've been getting. But
I know. There is a debate there.
we've been teasing Elise's husband. He's sitting here in the studio watching this whole thing. So you can come on on. There you go.
no,
Come on
Sorry, I
over
stepped
here.
in the shot.
Come on over here and say hello to the people at home. You have to get.
Oh,
there you
there's a
go.
delay.
There's a delay. No, come down a little bit.
Hi.
There you go. Introduce yourself to the folks at home.
My name's Mike. I'm the technical advisor.
Michael is the
Slash
technical
publisher.
advisor / publisher for
Slash idea
Somerville
generator.
Beat and financier. So,
Sometimes.
so welcome to the wonderful world of
Thank you so much.
Greater Somerville media. We
Thanks.
wish you a lot of success.
Thank you so much. It's been
Yeah.
great to be on the show.
Well, we probably have about a minute left, and I do want to do one thing, though.
Okay.
You know, this heat wave, I think this is the last day for the heat wave. So I want to encourage all of you to please check on your seniors, check on the folks who are not very mobile, make sure they're okay, go to the store for them, get them some ice cream, because that's where I'm heading. I'm going to take these two for an ice cream. If I can talk
Delicious.
them into going for an ice cream. So.
Elyse is slightly older than me. I'll keep checking on her to make sure she's doing well throughout the
This is going to be a great addition to the wonderful world of media here in Somerville. So keep your eye out for the SomervilleBeat.com.
Yes.
SomervilleBeat.com. Check it out every week. Put yourselves on the list and see what the newest blogger has to say. For Greater Somerville, I'm Joe Lynch. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned and stay informed.